And we're rolling. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Luton's Deadpool podcast. Me, Luton's Deadpool, and my guest today, Sadiqul Choudhury, who was running recently for Luton Labour in the Stopsley ward and has been working in the community for many years. So, hello, Sadiqul. Very nice to see you. It's always been a pleasure. Every time I've talked to you, you came to the Noah fundraiser that we done at the Barrels, and obviously then you came back to the Barrels to do a little. We was going to do an interview, and it just didn't work out on the day. But yeah, you done a little bit for the documentary, and yeah, overall it's been a pleasure getting to know you, man.
Keep up the great work as well. I've been hearing locally from people that you're actually inspiring them. People that don't know you.
Yeah, that's good.
This Deadpool that's going around, helping people, raising money. They really appreciate what you're doing. You're actually an inspirational role model, not just to young kids, but to elders as well. Those are in the 40s and 50s.
Wow. Okay, I didn't expect that. Yeah, sorry. I just don't. I never know how to take it when people say nice stuff like that. I'm not really used to it, but no, I appreciate it. And if what I'm doing is helping people, this is what it's for. So yeah, I'm glad it's having an effect. So thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that with me. But this isn't about me. This is about you. This is why we're here. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is like loads of stuff, man. Actually, because you're an interesting guy. You're very secretive as well, because I tried to Google stuff about you earlier, and I couldn't find anything really. Like I just found, the little bit about you running, and I've looked into your LinkedIn and stuff, what you've done. But yeah, you're not one of these types that puts it all out there for everyone to see.
Yeah, I mean that is a lot of people say to me that's something that I don't do. I don't market what I do or the projects that I'm involved in or the organisation that I work in. I just like to just get on with it.
Yeah.
Just do the work, and plus a lot of people that I work with, they don't want to be on social media as well. They just want to improve their lives and just get on with it. They don't want to share with the whole world that the things that they've been through and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, marketing is a very big weakness of mine and the organizations that I work with. I feel like
you're a humble guy.
Yeah, I just feel like
that's what it is.
We should just do the work. We shouldn't shout about it. But if you want to be, I do agree with what everyone says. If you want to be recognized, and like I'm in politics, if you want to progress in politics, it's important that we shout about what we do, and
100%.
We represent the communities that we're working with, because the only way the communities that I work with, or the communities that everyone works with, the only way they have a voice is by us sharing it on platforms.
Yeah. And
if I'm not able to share on a platform, then those communities won't be heard and won't be spoken of. So it's something that when I was younger, I used to do it a lot. I used to always post on Facebook everything that I'm doing, everything I'm involved in. But as I got older, I thought, it's best if I just do it quietly, just get on with it, and just do the good work, and the people that know, they will know, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, man. I mean, I totally agree with you on the Facebook thing. One of the best things I ever did was getting off Facebook. I was like, I don't know. This is really bad. I'm supposed to be like a social media guy and stuff. Yeah. Like that's how people know me and everything. And of course, I want people to hear my message, but at the same time, social media is the most destructive virus to your human brain. Like I absolutely hate it for what it done to me personally over the years, and how I lived in other people's eye all the time. Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, I mean, I deleted Facebook about a month or two before I became Deadpool, without realizing that I was going to do all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then from there, when I created the character, I created all the platforms. I was like, I just took myself off everything, because obviously, number one, I wanted it to be difficult for people to find out who I was, and number two, I just realized that through having that time away from these sort of social media platforms, it meant that I wasn't living in other people's vision anymore. I wasn't thinking, well, what do you think about me? What do you think about me? And then looking at other people and what they're doing, and getting jealous about what they're doing. And
it is right. It can get very toxic, because you're doing work, and the work that you're doing is great, but then you feel like if someone is not liking or commenting it, or if they're not retweeting it, they're not appreciating what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're not actually chasing the work, you're chasing the likes and the retweets and the comments on Facebook and so on and so forth. So
yeah, it's not healthy.
It's not healthy, but I guess it is what it is. If we want to progress in the world, we got to move forward with social media as well. So we've got to embrace, as much as we don't want to work with it, we need to embrace it as well.
Well, I think what I found in becoming Deadpool, which has shown me a lighter side of it, is that it's not a like evil monster that's controlling these things. It's an algorithm, right? It's all it is, and it depends on what your likes and dislikes are to what the algorithm will show you. So, beforehand, I looked at like a lot of like kind of negative stuff, and I was pulled in by headlines of things, but now I actively don't click on them, and the things that I click on are things that are really positive, and my feed is completely different to what it used to be. Now every time I open social media, it's actually something quite positive that's on there.
That's brilliant.
And it's a lot of stuff to do with Luton as well. It's what I say to anybody who's on these platforms. Just you got to think about like what you're consuming when you're on there, because that's what it is. It's like eating food, but you're eating bad food. And when you're on these things, it's best to look at things that are more positive, because or things that are going on in your community, because it helps you stay in touch with everybody, and it kind of makes you want to do more positive stuff as well. It's definitely how it works for me. I don't know about you.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We all inspire each other.
Yeah.
We all motivate each other to do more. When you see one of us, one Lutonian that's doing work, you think, let me go do it. Or let me go support that Lutonian, because that's what's great about our town as well. When someone's running a project or when someone's doing something, a lot of people come out to support us, and that just gives us the energy and the drive to just carry on.
Yeah, exactly, man. No, I totally agree. So let's go into, obviously we've talked a little bit, but let's talk about actually you and like who you are. Like, did you go to school in Luton? Are you from Luton? Like, what's the deal?
So when I was young, my family moved around a lot, so I went to quite a lot of primary schools. So I found it quite difficult to settle. I went to St Matthew's, or I went to Maidenhall Primary School. I think I went to 2 others. And then I finally went to Dallow Primary School. And then my family moved again, and they were like, let's go, we need to move you to Foxdale Junior School. And then I was like, I can't do it anymore. So I settled down in Dallow Primary School, and we lived on a road called Runley Road. So I used to walk 20 minutes myself every day to school and back, but that's because I was settled in the school. And then I went to Choudhury Boys. Growing up, youth clubs made a big difference to my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, we played a lot of football on the roads, but we used to go to Dallow Primary School every Tuesdays and Thursdays to play football, to be involved in summer programs, and I think they played a big role in the character that I am today.
Yeah.
And ensuring that we are safe on the streets and not getting involved in anything bad. And as we got older, then we had Dallow Community Centre that was just built fresh when I was in high school. And then when we got to college, all that funding got scrapped.
Yeah.
No more youth clubs, nothing. Went college, and then at the age of 19, saw that there was nothing for young people, no services. There isn't much for us to do. They cut the youth club funding everywhere. So me and 22 young individuals, I was 19 at the time, a lot of them were 16, 17. We set up a local organisation called Community Needs.
Oh, wow.
So that was about...
At 19 years old, you set up? Oh, wow.
So that was back in 2011.
Yeah.
So we set up Community Needs, and we were just passionate, just like how you are. I probably compare us to Connect for Causes, how they're just so passionate.
Yeah.
So we were just 19, and we just wanted to help everyone. So we were going out there, we raised money for FO, we raised money for Luton Town Dunstable Hospital. Whenever Keach Hospice had events, we were going out there, we were volunteering. And then we were doing projects ourselves, like we were running quiz nights, bingo nights, sports days. The whole purpose of us doing all this was to give. So we started off with 23 individuals, and then we grew it, and then we had like 50, 60, down to like 100 volunteers in summer. Over 150 volunteers in the summer. So we were just equipping young people with the skills to ensure that they were ready for the big wider world. So, ensuring they had confidence, ensure that they were able to present in front of a big audience, developing their teamwork skills, their project management skills, leadership skills. So a lot of young people that came to us, they'd be very quiet, they'd sit in a corner, they wouldn't even look up much, they wouldn't talk to people. By the time they left, they were buzzing, they had the confidence to speak to anyone. They could go up to any random person and speak to them, start a conversation, ask for sponsorship for an event. So we've done a lot of that stuff. Football tournaments, quiz nights, sports days, summer programs ourselves, and then we run like an apprentice style program as well.
And
so
what do you mean?
we were split into initially split into like 8 teams, and then it came down to 3 teams, and they were battling it out with there were some judges.
Really?
They were battling it out, delivering a project for 2 days, and then that was scored by judges, and then we had a big ceremony in about 350 people in Crescent Hall, where we would celebrate all the work that we did.
Wow.
So in the early days of my work, I was highly commended Role Model of the Year at Luton Community Awards. Pride of Bedfordshire, I was runner-up, Young Achiever, Adult Achiever at Luton Best Awards. That was like when I was 19, 20. And obviously for the work that Communities did as a whole, we were recognised at Luton Best Awards as Community Company of the Year back in 2012. So that was like a lot of what I did in my early days when I was younger, when I was going to college and stuff. Just volunteering everywhere, involved in many projects, Stallow Festival, so many. It's probably, I can't even remember all of them.
Yeah.
Then as I progressed, worked for a company called Training for Services, and I mainly run the NEAT program. So those 16 to 19-year-olds that are kicked out of sixth form or Barnfield College from mainstream education, they would come to us as a second opportunity, would work with them. So over, I would say in the span of about 6-7 years, I worked with about 200 young people.
Yeah, wow.
These are young people with behaviour problems who got kicked out, or multiple issues, and not just males, females. A lot of young girls that would come to study with us, and they would have low aspiration. They'd be like, as long as I get £8,000 job a year, I would be happy with life. So we would work with a lot of these young people, give them the qualifications they need: maths, GCSE, English GCSE, functional skills, maths, English, business admin, customer service, childcare, so on and so forth, and give them life skills as well. And a lot of them are doing well now in life. You know, some of them work for Luton Borough Council, some of them have set up their own businesses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are kids that have been written off by society.
Yeah, they were going to be in the bin, basically.
These are kids that were told, you're not going to make it in life. You'll probably become a drug dealer, or you'll probably just sit at home all your life.
Yeah, so what's the point in wasting our time on you? Yeah.
You know, we haven't got... and obviously when they come, because they've been told that throughout their lives, they feel like they're not worth much. So it's just instilling that confidence back with them. And now I know that NEAT program, I don't know if anybody runs it, because there isn't many alternative providers for 16 to 19-year-olds. So it's only probably sixth form, Barnfield and Central Bedfordshire College. But yeah, a lot of these youngsters that we work with, and they were actually smart kids. They just needed to believe in themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that effort in. So yeah. So ran that program. So yeah, like I said, the Luton Borough Council, one of them I remember last time I spoke to him, is working for Mercedes. So yes, they've gone on to get HR positions, accountants, so on and so forth. You know, some of them didn't even think they'll get into uni. A lot of them went to university. Some of them have done their masters. So
that's incredible, bro.
It was inspiring really to do. And then I love working with young people. So then 2018 or 2019, that program was no longer funded by a funder. So that funder was EBP, and they closed down, so on and so forth. So then I worked for other various charities, Level Trust, Mary Sequel Housing Association. I'm a trustee of the Courtney Foundation. We run the Luton Clothing Bank.
Oh, wow. That's good, man.
We support a lot of families that are struggling financially with white goods. We help them with clothes, and we provide emotional support as well. We work with a lot of refugees and asylum seekers as well. We run sports programs with them about good, I think it was about 6-7 weeks. I was running football sessions for asylum seekers, and we put on a lot of stuff for them as well. Like we put on that fun day, community fun day. It was literally free. Everything was free. We invited everyone. They got free food. They got some free clothes, and they enjoyed activities, and they absolutely loved it. And that was for families that were on low income, and refugees and asylum seekers as well. Also involved in an organisation called Growing Potential, where we run intervention programs. Kids that have behaviour issues and stuff in school. I'm from the top of my head. Yeah, so that's my journey.
That is a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and how old are you now?
I'm 31 now.
You've done all of this, and you're only 31.
Throughout my life, yeah. These are some of the stuff. Wow. I've been involved with other stuff as well.
Yeah. Like you say, there's things you can't remember because it's just such a huge amount of work that you've done.
But my whole journey has been in Luton. I've worked and lived in Luton all my life. I've worked in various different wards, different organisations. I was also involved in the NCS program as well. That was one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. What was that? So it's the National Citizen Service.
Okay.
So it was a summer program that was set up by David Cameron for young kids, and where we would take. So it was Luton Cultural running it. I was working on there with a few other great youth workers, and we were basically taking about 60 kids at a time away on a excursion. So we would take them away for a week. They would do kayaking, abseiling, so on and so forth. And then for the second week, then we would go to a college. We would stay there, and we'd run workshops. We used to run like beats workshops. Active Luton used to come down. We used to do like sit-down volleyball to make the young people aware of, if you're disabled, how you treat your sports. And it was just amazing. And then the second 2 weeks, they would deliver a community project. So the one I was involved in was like the Lady Godiva project.
Okay.
So Lady Godiva, the lady. So basically, she ran. Her husband, I believe, was he was paying taxes. He was charging people a lot of taxes, and he said the only way I'll reduce their taxes if you run through a town naked on a horse. And she done that. So he had to keep his pledge, and that's why she was remembered as Lady Godiva. That's why she's remembered famously. So we ran that like a little parade through town. They even won a community project of the year.
With a naked lady on a horse.
Well, that was how she was. Yeah. So Lady.
Oh, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
That was. We didn't have naked, but we had like I think it was like a puppet thing, and then we were
a puppet on a horse.
Yeah. But yeah, so even those young people that we worked with through the NCS, some have gone on to do like amazing things like conservation projects. One of the girls, young girls, Ramiro, like she's involved in like a lot of eco culture, climate change, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, that
sounds fun, man. As well.
Connected with a lot of people over the years.
Yeah, you've had a really crazy journey so far, man. And yeah, I just want to go back a little bit and just talk about when you was little, because I'm really interested by people like yourself, because I didn't get this charitable like nature to me until like 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? During the pandemic, and when I started to get involved with charity work, I didn't really care too much for my community pre then as well. I was one of these kids that, like you described, who was kind of left behind and just forgotten about, and I had opportunities, I just threw them away. And it was due to a lot of like mental health issues, a lot of family issues, and financial issues. And I feel like if I had a group like that, man, like I would have done really well. But what interests me is the people behind these groups, because we've got so many of them in Luton. It's absolutely crazy. Like, so I want to know, like, what made you like into that? Like, what's your earliest memory of like wanting to do good for people?
I think I've always tried to put other people first. I think that's in my nature. Maybe my parents, my dad has always been quite giving. My family has been, my granddad, my uncles, my aunts. Like I would say, I would say I probably grew up in poverty. I didn't have the best chances in life, but one thing that I did have, I got a lot of love.
Yeah.
From family members and stuff. Love, like there was no lack of love. In terms of giving, I guess it's just, when you, probably in layman terms, say, when you're broke with your friends, you are just more giving because you're in the journey together. When one of you gets a portion of chips, you're like, yeah, everyone just dip in.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just all love. And I think that's what poverty probably brings. It brings more unity because you're all going through a struggle and you want to get out of that struggle. But you don't want to get out on your own. You want to get out with everyone around you. I think it was just that nature. And then when I used to go to the youth clubs, our mentors, it was mainly idolatrous like Mr. Osborne and Mr. Booth, and they used to just always tell us help others. And then it's mainly when we obviously set up community needs, and then we were doing stuff, and then when people praise you and tell you keep it up and you're making a difference in their lives. Money is important. Money is important, obviously, because money pays the bills. But though that satisfaction that it brings you, you don't really get that, and that's why I really enjoyed staying in the sector that I'm in, because for me, I don't feel like I'm working. It's a hobby for me.
Yeah,
there is no clock in, clock out time. You're helping people. You're making a difference, and I love it. So I think and religion as well. Religion has played a big part in terms of being giving and stuff.
I'm glad you said about religion, because this is something that I've been exploring myself more recently, and yeah, I think it's a big part. But what is it about religion then?
So we always hear stories when we're in Islamic classes about how our Prophet was very giving, or his Sahaba, we call it Sahaba, so his team, his followers, and they were very giving, and stories about how they used to help people, and used to find it inspiring that they had so little, but they used to do so much. And here we are, so it's our due to help others as well. And sometimes, when people talk about like our religion, it's not just about people don't recognize you just by you always saying, yeah, join Islam, join Islam. It's about your actions. Actions is a form of making people come closer to Islam. If you're a very giving person, if you're thinking, people say, oh no, it's not Sadiqul, it's because he's a Muslim. That Muslim is very kind. People won't know you. They'll say, yeah, Muslims are really nice, they're very giving. So that's what we were taught. Like, your actions are as important, not just your words, but your character. the character needs to be very, very important as well. And you need to be a likable character, you need to be an attractive character, because that character represents your religion.
Yeah, no, that was a great answer, man. That's a great answer. Okay, we're going to go to a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk some more Sadiqul. We're going to find out some more about what he's doing now, and yeah, we'll see you in a second.
Hey, you. Who, me? Do you ever feel bored or like you have absolutely nothing to do? Gosh, I feel bored like I have nothing to do all the time. That's just great, because I have some perfect news for you. So excited I can barely contain myself. String Theory by Luton's Deadpool. This product creates so much family fun for children and adults of all ages, shapes and sizes. String Theory by Luton's Deadpool is a great product which will bring out the inner string maniac in you. String Theory by Luton's Deadpool is an extremely dangerous product that should never be used by any children and adults of any shapes or sizes. String Theory doesn't come with any warranty, doesn't come with any guarantees, and if you use this product, will not be held liable for any damages that occur to you or your family or your dogs. Do not purchase anything ever from Luton's Deadpool.
Oh, hello! What a great bit of advertising right there. I genuinely really loved that advert. Did you love that advert?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be great. I'm telling you now. So, so yeah, we're back now, and what I wanted to talk. Obviously, that was great. Honestly, our last segment was really, really good. I really enjoyed talking to you about like how you decided to do the things you've done, and my gosh, it's a lot of work. And the thing is, what's funny is that people might not necessarily know, but also you've added to that because now you're a bit of a politician.
Yes, yes. Not a politician yet, but aspiring politician.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the Labour Party. I'm very supportive of our Luton Labour group, and I think they're doing great things already.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the next 4 years and what they deliver. I stood as a candidate in the Stopsley ward. It was a very, very, very tough experience.
Yeah.
Because Stopsley, as you know, you live in the wood.
Yeah, yeah.
Stopsley is a very strong Lib Dem area, and residents. From the research that I've done, they haven't had a Lib Dem councillor stand there for many, many years.
Yeah.
So, got selected as a candidate. I put my heart into it. Don't think I could have done any more. Campaigned a lot. Sometimes you're out there 3 times a day.
Wow.
Doing a morning session, afternoon session.
That's a hard graft, man.
It is a very hard graft, especially when you're knocking on doors and people are telling you their issues and they're saying they're fed up with Luton Labour.
Yeah.
And you're having to defend your local party. But also it's a learning curve as well, because it's taught me a lot in terms of how I would prepare for the next election and what I would do.
Must help as well, like what people actually think.
Yes,
there is a bit of disconnect I find in politics in Luton between the actual politicians and the people.
Mm-hmm.
Where I talk to normal people all the time, and they tell me all their issues, similar to like how your experience would have been. And what I find is, everyone's really fed up.
Yeah, I mean,
really fed up.
It is a bit disheartening because obviously, as I've said before, I've worked in the community all my life. So when you go knock on a door and someone says to you, "Oh, you don't care about Luton," or "You're just here just to get my vote," you guys always come around election time. For someone like me, it's a bit disheartening because I've worked in the community all my life, and then when people say that, it's just like, "Oh wow," it does. Sometimes it can demotivate you in getting involved in politics, because when you're hearing that many no's, or when you're hearing so many people disengaged, because when someone at the end of the day, when someone sees you coming to their door, they just see you as you're a member of the Labour Party.
They don't see you.
They don't see you as the person. They just think, you're the person, and I'm going to offload everything on you. And if you haven't fixed it, why haven't you fixed it? You're on my door. You better sort it out. So, can be disheartening, but at the same time, it's important to stay positive.
Yeah.
So through that experience, learn a lot about Stopsley Ward. But Stopsley is a beautiful area.
It's great, isn't it?
It's a very beautiful area. And it's got a lot going on, that inspires in Stopsley.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Stopsley as well, when I was campaigning, people raised some important issues, like, ideas, I would say. Like one person said, "Why don't we have a splash park in Luton?"
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh wow, that would be interesting, because when I've been down to St Albans, they've got their own splash park.
Yeah.
Been to Milton Keynes, they got their own splash park.
Yeah, it sounds silly, like it's just a little thing, but do you know what? It creates a deeper sense of the community, right?
That's it. Brings everyone together.
Yeah, and it's hot weather as well, man. Like, how great would that be to have something like that?
Kids would love it as well.
Yeah.
And with Luton in the Premier League, you had a splash bar. People think, Luton's going places.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is with people in Stopsley is that they have very different problems to what the rest of Luton has.
Yes,
like growing
that's
up
one
for
thing
me,
I've realised.
Yeah, growing up for me in Stopsley, we had like issues with knives, and we had issues with people stealing cars, and we had issues with people breaking into houses, and we didn't have many homeless issues. Though, do you know what I mean? Like, not in the sense of people actually on the street begging, and you just didn't really see it as much around there. When I would first venture out into places like Marsh Farm and Lucy Farm, and going down to Choudhury sort of area, and just seeing like what it's actually like, it was massively eye-opening for me, because I feel like I lived in a bit of a sheltered world in Stopsley. I didn't really understand until I got to my teens and I started going out and about, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, there's a lot of problems out here in Luton, and Stopsley can be like a big part of helping solve them problems. Like like you say, making it a place where it can be like a real community vibe place, and people want to go to visit. You realise it's a part of Luton. If we've got Stopsley, there's Wigmore down the road as well, which is really nice as well. We've got some really nice areas here in Luton, and really we should be aspiring to be more like them in how the vibe is, and that. Like for me, growing up, I always felt like I knew every one of my neighbours. You know what I mean? On multiple roads, like I knew everybody, man. And it's different today, but people still have that kind of same spirit over there. So we can definitely learn from them. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good ward to choose. It's a hard ward that you chose, but it's a good ward to choose.
So with the wards, a lot of people have said to me, Sadiqul, why did you choose Stopsley, or how? Why would you choose a ward like Stopsley, or why would you run? So how it worked with us internally in the Labour Party is nobody chose their wards.
Yeah.
We went through an interview process by our National Executive Committee, and they basically scored us based on our interview.
Yeah.
And those that done better in their interviews, they got their first choice awards, or second choice awards.
Oh, okay.
So the reason I got Stopsley was because others did better than me in the interview. And they got their chosen awards, and then obviously the awards that were left over, Stopsley was one of them, so I was placed in Stopsley.
Okay.
So I had the choice to either accept it or reject it, but I chose to accept it and take on the challenge.
Yeah, it's a big challenge, like I say, knowing that.
But Stopsley's also got a very diverse, because it's a very big area.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like the graveyard side, they've got their own set of problems.
Yeah.
And then if you look somewhere like Tin Town,
they've
got their own set of problems.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you go towards Stopsley High School, they've got their own set of problems.
Yeah.
So very, very, like a very, very big ward, big ward, and you can't just say one thing for every like one area might say we want more policing, but another area of Stopsley would say no, we need more something more done about antisocial behaviour. Another area of Stopsley might say no, our biggest problem is we've got too many people speeding up and down the road. We need some average speed cameras. Yeah, very diverse set of problems in Stopsley. Yeah, very big area, but again, a very amazing community. They give a lot, but on the 6th of May they sent their message. Yeah, they said no. Unfortunately, it's a shame. It's a shame because I don't honestly. This is going to sound really bad with me, but I don't really know a lot about the other candidates. But I know you personally, and all I can say is that I don't trust politicians. Right? I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't trust them at all, because a lot of the time people say one thing, they get into office, do something completely different. I don't know if it's the way it works, if it's like that. It's just get in the office and then all of a sudden you find out that you can't actually do that much, right? I don't know if it's that or if it's that it's actually devious, but I really don't like it. But when I meet people like yourself or Bassett, big up to Bassett Mahmood as well, actually. Bassett's actually a big inspiration for me. He's the reason I actually...
Great guy.
One of the main reasons I've actually gone into politics.
Yeah, well, talking to him about the way that politics in Luton works and how historically, it's quite bad. It's quite bad. We won't go into how, why, or anything. I'll let people do their own research into that. But talking about that sort of stuff with Bassett is showing me that we need fresh blood. We need fresh blood in this town because the old ways ain't working. And, you know, it's led to like quite a bad situation in terms of finances at the time. Like, I know that we're not getting as much money, but I feel like it's being poorly spent as well. There's a lot of projects that money goes into, and I feel like it would do better in the hands of education. Or do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and there's a lot of mental health services that have been completely like drained in Luton. And hopefully, there's going to be something done about that, because it's a massive problem. Like, for me, that is kind of the crux of the homeless issue here, is mental health issues that aren't addressed and slowly fester into drug issues and alcohol issues, and that leaves people on the street. And, you know, we won't go into that too much, but yeah, we'll save that for another podcast when you're elected, and then when you can do something about it. But yeah, it's just, there is a lot of frustrating problems, and for me, I want to see people like you in the position to make those decisions. I don't want the old faces anymore. We've had enough of that. I think that there is a big movement in Luton that we want change, and I think the only way to get change is through new people. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do agree with some of what you're saying. We do need fresh blood in Luton Labour, but we also still need those old faces, because you need a mixture.
Well, there's some good people like Tom Shaw. You know, I've heard a lot of good things about Tom Shaw. You know, you wouldn't want to get rid of someone like him. Obviously.
We need some of the old to guide us, but yeah, we do need new faces as well, because the new young faces, or those that involve the community, we just need people from different walks of life to be represented in the chamber, so we have a whole picture of the voice of Luton. If we're always having people from one section of the community that are always elected, then we're not really representing the whole of Luton. And I think that's one good thing that the NEC have done by stepping in this time and selecting the candidates, because now if you look at these Luton Labour councillors, they're more of a diverse range than the previous set that we had. They've got a bit young in there, they've got a bit old in there, they've got people from different ethnicities there. But one thing that we do need, we still need other people from ethnicities to come forward. We need people from the Polish community to come forward and stand as councillors.
Yeah, definitely.
We need people from the Romanian community to come forward and stand as councillors. So every community is represented. But it's important that someone in that community breaks the barrier and joins the party and applies and gets the motivation. Even someone from the Turkish community. Yesterday we had the Turkish festival.
I didn't get to go to that. Unfortunately, it's Father's Day, so I had a break from the suit. But it's I heard it was a really good day. It got rained off in the end.
We've done good. We could do better, but we need to. We just need to encourage other people to apply. That's what it is. And
I agree.
We've got 17 females this time, 13 males. So things are progressing.
Maybe we can't get someone from the superhero community. I mean, I'm already red.
You are red. You are red.
No, I think do you know what? Honestly, someone said to me that I've looked into it very loosely, so don't quote me. Disclaimer: I'm an idiot. But I've looked into it, and I could technically run like this.
How one with a mask on?
Anonymously.
I think as an independent you can, but not
not with like a party. But I could run as an independent, completely anonymous.
Yes.
And I did kind of think like it would. I don't know. I think I might win. I think I could possibly win if I pick the right ward.
Think about it.
But at the same time, I'm not educated enough. Not yet. I'm doing my education into politics and into the way that Luton works and communities and stuff like that. But that's a long way.
Even I would say with local politics, you don't have to be the smartest person, but as long as you have local knowledge, you have the willingness to learn. And time is also very important as well. If you don't have the time, it can drain you, and I would say it's injustice to your residents as well. If you're busy, you're working 2-3 jobs. Is the councillor thing right for you? Probably not, because you've got residents who are probably sitting at home, or residents who are homeless.
They need you right now.
They need you, so you need to be accessible to them as well. So it's important to come forward in politics if you've got the time. If you feel like you're at a position in your life where you can balance your work life, your social life, and have a bit of time for politics. But from working in the community, I realised, and one of the main reasons why I went into politics is I'm making a change, and I've always said this to residents when I'm knocking on the doors. I'm making a change, but I feel like the change that I'm making is at a very small scale. I'm helping probably 10, 20, 30 people a month. But with politics, the reason I go into politics is because I feel like I can make change on a bigger scale, where we can pass policies that don't just make a difference to 10, 20 lives, we're making a difference to hundreds of lives, thousands of lives.
Over generations and stuff. Yeah.
And that's why I want to get into politics, because I
Yeah.
really want to help my town. I really want to help it prosper. You know, Luton 2040 vision, they've got, you know, some people might say that vision is not achievable, etc., etc. But the fact is, they've got a vision. By 2040, no child in poverty. Let's get behind it and let's work towards it, because we've never had that idea before. We've never said before, guys, let's try to make sure that no child grows up in poverty. At least now we're working towards something.
I mean, it is a crazy idea. You know, the more I talk to people about it, like, I believe that if everybody got behind it, no problem whatsoever. If we get another Tory government, I don't know how they do it.
It's very important that we have a Labour government, especially for Luton as well.
But then this is the problem, you know. How do you get people to throw the Tories out? You know, they've done so much bad. They've done so much bad
They have.
through these last few years, especially during the pandemic. It's actually been discussing how they've acted. And, you know, it's like, the problem is even though they've done all the stuff that they've done, I've seen Labour not be as strong on some of the things that they stood for previously. And the thing that I think people fear is that we're going to get rid of the Tories and get Labour, and there's going to be no difference whatsoever, other than maybe we'll get a bit more funding in Labour towns. But, you know, I'm trying to be optimistic and say, well, that's enough for me, is that let's just get rid of the Tories, and a town like Luton will start to prosper, because we're a Labour town. We're going to get more funding naturally. So, you know, part of me, you know, I'm a bit on the fence about it, to be honest. And I think that's how a lot of people in Luton feel. And I think that's why Lib Dems are making some ground here.
I mean, I feel like the only way people will know is if they elect us. If they don't elect Labour nationally, they will never know. The last Labour government lifted 1 million children out of poverty.
Yes, true.
We used to have, I used to get free school meals as a child when I was a Labour child. We used to get EMA. Our tuition fees were £3,000. I know it was a long time ago, but those sort of things made a difference in our education. When we were in school, we were told, so many schools got rebuilt because of the Labour programme, because Labour pledged towards rebuilding schools in Luton, so on and so forth. So pensioners, a lot of families were lifted out of poverty because of Labour. I know Labour, people say that there were some bad things that Labour did, but domestically in our country, Labour did good things for residents.
Yeah, and especially compare it to what the Tories have since done.
And I know, like, the recession, people probably think, oh, Labour caused the recession and stuff. And as a young child, because of the media, I believe that Labour caused the recession as well. But the truth is, Labour didn't cause the recession.
No, it was
the recession was caused by banks.
Exactly.
But Labour just took the blame for it because they were the government in power.
That's how the Conservatives initially took over.
Because they marketed it really well.
Yeah, people forget that actually. Like, after that happened, that was the turning point in this country.
And that's the narrative that they keep using even now currently, is that Labour won't be able to manage the budget. You can't trust them to look after the country's finances.
Yeah.
But they didn't mess it up in 2008.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the banks that messed it up. Even if Conservative were in power, we still would have been in the turmoil that we were in. But these sort of backhand dealings that the Tories have done openly as well.
Yeah, I know.
You know, people find out they don't like back in the 80s. If you were find out about something, you'd resign there and then.
Yeah,
but the likes
exactly.
of Boris Johnson and stuff.
Oh my gosh! Don't, man! Don't. The latest thing with the party, the parties they were having.
Exactly.
We knew already when it happened. We knew, and it was reported to the police, and the police just didn't even look into it. Just let them get away with it. And I think they got fines. I think they got a couple of fines, and that was it. They should have been thrown out of office there and then.
They should be in prison.
Yeah.
Because if you think about people that got fined during the pandemic, families that couldn't bury their loved ones.
Yeah, there was like fines of £1,000. So weren't there like fines up to 10 grand in some places? I can't remember. That might be an exaggeration. I can't remember that one.
In Luton, the amount of we had so many people pass away during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And now we've got obviously the tree garden initiative.
Yeah.
That we're planting trees, but
doesn't replace the people that we lost. And whilst they all laughed and drank and.
I understand why people are disengaged with politics because of what the Tories have done, and now they paint us all with the same brush. because they think they've done it and we've done it. But when Labour were in power during those years, I don't think. Well, I was a child then, but I don't remember them being as much corruption as there is now.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. It's really sad. Oh man. Well, let's end this little break here, and when we come back, we're going to be a bit more positive because I feel really sad now. All right, back in a second.
Hey, you. Who, me? Yeah, you. Do you ever feel like sometimes the sound of someone's voice is so annoying that you just want to pull your ears out? Gosh, I was just thinking that today. That's just great, because today I have a perfect deal for you. We have on special offer for free delivery. No more talking tape. Talking tape, you say? How does it work? No more talking tape. You can slap that tape right over your friend's mouth and you can never listen to them talk ever again. Gosh, I'm going to purchase some today. Thank you so much. No more talking tape by Luton's Deadpool. No more talking tape comes in many varieties and styles, including happy, sad, shocked, bewilderment, vampire fangs, and my personal favourite, dog face. Luton's Deadpool No More Talking Tape comes in many varieties and styles and colours. Get yours today for free delivery. Do not purchase anything from Luton's Deadpool. You'll be warned multiple times. Stop watching his adverts, stop watching stuff he does. Stop doing anything Luton Deadpool says he does. Luton's Deadpool is a menace to society, must be stopped immediately. Do not purchase any of this tape from him as it causes serious harm and may permanently not be able to be removed. Okay, and we're back, and I don't know which one I liked more, that advert or the one before. I'm on the fence again. It's a fence day.
I think it was the second advert.
Second advert. Okay, well, I've got a lot of work to do to make two very good adverts.
It was the bit at the end.
The bit at the end, is that the? Oh man, do you know, it was sweet, wasn't it? Yeah. Right. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us again. Myself and Sadiqul Choudhury, who just ran for Luton Labour. And it was really, really interesting little chat we just had. But now we're going to talk about what you want for the future. Like, firstly, where do you see Luton in the future? And then after that, what position do you want to have in that?
Luton in the future, I think one of the biggest things for us was getting to the Premier League.
Yeah, bro. Oi, hit me. Up the town. Come on.
That has literally changed the whole perspective. When you see Luton in the Premier League now, you think, you know what, that 2040 vision might be achievable. Because if we can stay up as long as we can in the Premier League, we can build Power Court. Power Court is built before you know it. The whole of town centre has just been revamped. Then we've got the levelling up funding that's coming from the government, £20 million. We're still £20 million short, but that £40 million that would go into the town centre, if we utilise that money properly, we invest in homes. We bring the theatre to Luton. So if we accompany that, and then we've got the airport. If the airport expansion goes through, which will hopefully create more jobs for the town, I think Luton can go places. But it's so important that we stay in the Premier League.
Yeah,
because the unity, us staying in the Premier League, brought to our town. It was something else. That parade, 20,000 people. It didn't matter when I was fortunate enough to go Wembley. But
yeah, me too, man. It was amazing.
When we were out there, no one cared about the colour of your skin. No one cared about your gender, your race, nothing.
It was just like, where are you from in Luton?
Luton.
That's what it was,
We're orange and we're together.
Yeah.
We stand united.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for us to be in the Premier League and that's the great thing about sport. Sport has the power to unite people. Whether it be football, cricket. I mean, even if a Luton Town cricket team done well, everybody would.
Well, they did. The Luton Town girls team done well the other day as well. Yeah, exactly. Just I got retweeted on that, and big up to Ash and everyone there down the cricket club. They're amazing people. But sport in Luton is it's booming at the moment. I'm loving it.
It is, and that's what we need. We just need to. I honestly feel Luton can go places. Next 10 years, we will all see a very different Luton.
Yeah.
Because obviously we all know now if we get in the Premier League, that money would hopefully go towards Power Court and start building it.
Yeah.
Whether we get new owners or not, we don't know. But yeah, being in the Premier League would bring a lot of prosperity into our town, create more jobs. And that's what we need. To lift people out of poverty, we need more jobs. I know, so from what I know recently, we always were saying 46% of children are in poverty. Now that figure's gone down to like 39.9%, so approximately about 40%. So that figure has dropped by 6%. So it's important that we learn, we find out now, how did it drop by 6%?
Yeah.
What were the contributing factors? What played an important part into us reducing child poverty down to 40%? Learn from those lessons and let's start duplicating it.
Yeah.
Let's start putting these initiatives in place that could help us reduce poverty more for our children. Because it is sad when we think about kids are not eating during holidays, kids are having to buy a second-hand uniform. We want to level the playing field. We want as many kids to prosper as possible. And yeah, Luton. I think I honestly feel Luton is going places. We're the only club in Bedfordshire
Yeah.
that's in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I was out campaigning with the Labour team in mid Bedfordshire, and Flitwick are behind us. I see Luton Town flags.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Sandy.
Yeah.
So literally the whole of Bedfordshire is behind Luton Town.
Yeah.
Luton Town flags there. So I think we can go places, and we can go places. I think we will go places.
Yeah.
And
it's because of the. Do you know what it's like? They always say about the 12th man in football, yeah, and that's the crowd, right? And I feel like you've got good support and following throughout all the Premier League teams, and that's why they are where they are, because there's a lot of love for them teams. But I think because it's on the ground, like this, it's every man, woman, and child that's from the town that is supporting this and just loves it, even if they're not big on sport, and they've never been to a game before. The love that was outpouring, and yeah, there was a lot of fans who were saying like, oh well, these people had never been to a game before. No, I'm not saying, I'm not like that at all. I'm like, get on board the bus with me. Let's have every single person in Luton Town screaming and shouting LTFC. Like, I don't want to have it that we're trying to disinclude people, like we're a special club, just because people have been going since they were in non-league and since the 80s or 70s or whatever. You have to start somewhere. You have to start supporting somewhere.
20,000 people were at the parade.
Yeah.
According to Luton Borough Council, I bet you a lot of them weren't even at Wembley.
Yeah, 100%.
They got behind the town.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got Luton Town Community Trust as well. So if Luton start doing well financially, that they will pump money into that trust. That trust will go into the community, which will help local.
Well, yeah, they help so many people already. Yeah. They help the food bank. They help with Keach and with Noah, and there's so many charities that Luton Town Football Club helps out, as well as looking to invest in themselves. And by doing that, they just only raise the town up. So I'm so proud. I'm so proud, and to be from Luton and to have been going as long as I have, and with my children, and to be there at the final. Oh, I don't think I've cried so much in my life.
There is no prouder time to be a Lutonian, honestly. Now, the fact that Luton made Premier League, people will now proudly say, yeah, I'm from Luton.
Yeah. The only thing that I want out of when they build Power Court is a ginormous statue of Pelly Ruddock. That is all I want, just ginormous, just standing over the town, in that pose when he was walking away from all the orange smoke. I don't know if you saw that picture. Yeah. It's excellent, man. He's just an absolute legend. What a hero. But big inspiration for other children, to look at him having failed at West Ham and gone to Luton for like 50k, something like that, whilst they were in non-league. And it kind of looked like, if you're in his position, it's game over, right? Your chance, you was at West Ham, and now you're at Luton, a club that was failing. And instead, it's been this most incredible fairy tale story for him. So, what a story for children to be able to engage in and see. Like, you can go from the bottom and go to the top. Like, it's genuinely possible. Because we need stories like that to inspire us, right? Anyway, so the other part of the question was, where do you see yourself in this beautiful vision of Luton? What do you want to be doing?
Well, in terms of this vision, I think the most important thing this vision embodies is, I think what we want for Luton is we want people to study in Luton, go to the schools in Luton, but we want to create a town for them where they can also work in the town. There's opportunity in the town, but to ensure the economy grows even more, we want to make sure that they spend their money in the town as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what we ideally want. We want to create a Luton where people study, work, and spend their money in the town. Because if we can do that, if we can achieve that, where people feel comfortable to go out in Luton, they feel safe, and they enjoy going out in Luton, and they enjoy spending their hard-earned money in Luton, then we can create a town that prospers. Because what we do have a lot as well, and I'm sure we're all aware, is we have people that have moved from the city to London down in Luton, but for them it's just like a transport town for them. They come here, they stay here overnight, but then they go over to London and they spend their money. If we really want our economy to grow, that's what we want. And in terms of the vision, how I could support it and stuff is obviously I'm behind the Luton Labour group, whatever they need in terms of their support. I'm willing to volunteer and help them where they can, and then just do my bit in Luton. Carry on with our intervention projects on knife crime. Getting so that's one thing I didn't mention. I get a lot of people that are involved in gangs. I help them get into university, the mature route, and a lot of them have graduated and got full-time jobs now. These were people that were like involved in gangs or drug dealing and stuff. So these are some of the stuff. So just carry on just what I'm doing, work with the communities I work with, and then just try to grow these projects. And like probably something that we discussed earlier, just market these projects more so awareness is raised and we get more support.
But if as much as I can help you with that, tag me in whatever you want. I'm more than happy to share it far and wide.
I appreciate that.
One good thing that's come out of what I do is I've got a lot of eyes on me, so I can definitely help with stuff like that. So yeah, obviously, if people want to help you with like knife crime initiatives, and if they want to support you back into government, and like how can people reach out to you to find out more about you and help you out?
So my Twitter handle, I believe, is Sadiqul C.
Yep.
Facebook, if you just write Sadiqul Choudhury, you'll find me. And my email address is my name, so as it is on Facebook, sadiqulchoudhury@hotmail.co.uk. I'm willing to work with anyone, any projects that anyone has. If they need some help, I'm more than happy to get involved.
Oh well, I've got something I'm going to talk to you about after the show. So let's see if we can do some.
And obviously, one organisation that I'm part of, Courtney Foundation, I think they're not spoken about enough. They do great work. People want to get involved with Courtney Foundation. Just search us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They'll find us. Courtney Foundation, I believe they do absolutely great. There's a girl called Melissa Llewellyn. I don't know if you heard of her. But she is, if you feel like I'm secret, I work behind the scenes. She honestly works behind the scenes. No one knows nothing about it, but she gets on it and she's making a difference to so many people's lives. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. People that she helps, all she does, she just sends me screenshots and quotes of what people have said, and it'll bring tears to your eyes.
Really?
The difference that she's making to people's lives.
I'm gonna have to check her out.
Behind the scenes is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna check her out after this.
She's someone like, to me, she's an inspiration. What she does.
Wow, that's big coming from you, bro.
And whatever she does, sometimes what she does is hard work, but you know what? She has a smile on her face, and she just carries on with it.
Yeah. What a lovely sentiment, and hopefully, through this podcast and talking, we can inspire more people to be like yourself and like Melissa, because like people like you, you're the lifeblood of this town. We didn't have people like you working so hard. So many would have failed. So many would have fallen by the wayside. Bro, it's the truth. It's the truth. Children who were like me. Yeah, this is why I love you, because if I would have had you in my life as a kid growing up, I'm sure I would have made it. Had a lot of potential, and I just got forgotten about, because it's what happened during my era of growing up. Children like me got forgotten about. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the work that you've done. And any support that you need from me, bro, I'm here for you 100%.
I appreciate that.
So if there's anything else you want to talk about,
no, that's it. Just I really appreciate you that invited me to your podcast. Honestly, when I first came, I didn't think I could really bring anything to your podcast, but you brought a side out of me that I didn't think I had.
So mate, you're perfect to this. Seriously, you should think about doing one yourself. I say it to everybody, I talk to, especially with all your contacts. You could do a great one, man. You're such a good talker. So anyways, thank you so much, Sadiqul, for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. And good luck for the future, bro. Hopefully Luton has you in it, and we can strive and prosper, because people like you will make this time. So thank you. Love you, Luton. Bye.